Are you thinking about moving to the Knoxville, Tennessee area and you're curious about West Knoxville because everyone says how fabulous it is? Well, let's talk pros and cons of West Knoxville. So, full disclosure, I grew up in West Knoxville. I know West Knoxville extremely, extremely well, and I didn't even realize there were other parts of Knoxville. For example, my husband is from South Knoxville, and if you've seen some other videos, I've mentioned this before, he absolutely hates West Knoxville. And actually in the West Knoxville vlog, I talk about that. I interview him, we talk about it, and we're gonna get to that major con, why he says he hates West Knoxville. So my husband's from South Knoxville, and he makes fun of me, and he says like, oh, I'm hoity-toity because I'm from West Knoxville. But he still goes there. And do you want to know why he goes there? Well, pro number one about West Knoxville is there's places to shop and buy stuff. I mean, Westtown Mall and Turkey Creek are the big kind of shopping centers in the Knoxville area, and they're both in West Knoxville. So Westtown Mall is essentially like an indoor mall. Like you access the stores from the inside for the most part, unless it's like the Belk or the Dillards. We also have a brand new, well, not brand new, it's like a year old, Dick's Sporting Goods. It's like House of Sport. It's pretty cool. Anyways, but West Knoxville, places to shop. Okay, so if you think about Westtown Mall, and then if you go a little further west to Turkey Creek is about 2.5 miles of shopping. Literally, I just Google mapped it. It's 2.5 miles long. And this includes, you know, restaurants and sit down places. So Calhoun's, Mamma Mia's, there's all kinds of restaurants in there. And then there's Chipotle and Zoe's, and there's a Chick-fil-A. You know what I mean? A McAllister's, so it's got that. It's got food. There's a CarMax in there, so if you need to get your Chick-fil-A nuggets and then you need to go buy a car, you can do that. And then there is a grocery store on either end, Earth Fare, which reopened, and then a Publix on the other end, which we don't have a ton of Publix in West Knoxville, which, by the way, both Publix are in West Knoxville. So I'm going to say we don't have a ton of Publix in Knoxville, but both of them are actually in West Knoxville. There's a Target in there, there's a Walmart, there's an Ulta, there's a Walmart, there's a movie theater. I mean, literally everything. There's like even little boutique gyms in Turkey Creek, smoothie bars, furniture stores, literally everything you want, it's there. So Turkey Creek, Westtown Mall, that is a certain and definite pro of West Knoxville. Like your shopping options are the greatest. And by the way, West Knoxville is the home of the only Costco we have. There is also a Sam's. So that's definitely a pro of West Knoxville. Another pro is that there is a ton of stuff to do. Shopping, which we talked about, eating, bars, restaurants, from chain restaurants like Chop House and Chesapeake's and Chewy's to these, you know, we have a local chain. It's Calhoun's and Smoky Mountain Brewery. So that's a local chain that's also in West Knoxville, but they're kind of all over. And then we have small one-off places like, some of my favorites are Water Into Wine. It's so good. Seasons. Che Guevara is this awesome Mexican restaurant in the same shopping center as Trader Joe's. I'm telling you, it will change your life. It's so good.
So good.
And then there's Sticky Rice Cafe. I mean, there's all just kinds of options when it comes to food. I mean, Indian food, Thai food, everything in West Knoxville. So great food, super cute and little quaint bars. 35 North is a cool, like, swanky food truck bar, so that's kind of cool. So just options of stuff to do, eating, and then working out. So we have multiple big box gyms in West Knoxville. So if you're a workout person, you've got Gold's Gym, you've got National Fitness Center, which is like a local kind of chain. National Fitness Center Signature is this huge, ginormo gym. It's beautiful. It has the nicest indoor pool for the kids to play. They've got a cycle like theater thing. I actually used to be a spin instructor, so I know this gym very well. And I taught at that gym. I actually taught at the Golds too, but that's not the point of this. Anyways, so stuff to do. Gyms, big box gyms, boutique gyms, F45, Pure Var, Real Hot Yoga, Hot Works, where you get in there in the hot box. Have you ever done that before? It is intense, especially if you're a sweater. Just saying. So yeah, there's tons of stuff to do. There is also activities. You got bowling, you've got Main Event, You've got Top Golf, which is a new addition to the West Knoxville area, which is super cool. And there's even some putt-putt. So West Knox, there is just stuff to do. So that's definitely a pro. Okay, let's talk about some cons. And this is why my husband says he hates West Knoxville. He says he hates West Knoxville because of the traffic, and I actually agree with this. It is going to be the most trafficked place that you're going to find. Now, I know that Knoxville traffic does not compare to other parts of the country. I did live in Atlanta. I taught in Atlanta for a hot minute, and I was always going opposite of traffic. So even though I lived pretty much in the city of Atlanta in Decatur, just off 20, I was going opposite the traffic. So I actually never even dealt with Atlanta traffic. Now my brother, he lives in Alpharetta up 400. And so if you're familiar with that, like that's bad traffic. We don't have that here. However, West Knoxville, it's pretty bad. And one time, so there's traffic and it's overcrowded. So I was trying to convince my husband, like, hey, we should go to West Knoxville. We need to check out we need to get some shoes, like do some shopping. And then also we need to, we'll just eat while we're out there. And he was like, okay, fine. So we got there around 5:30 on a Friday. We go to Chewy's, which you feel free to judge me. Yes, it's a chain Mexican restaurant, but I'm sorry, it is so good. Okay, so I'll take your judgment. But I love their jalapeno sauce, whatever that stuff is. That dip they have, oh my gosh, it's so good. Anyways, so we go there and they're like, it's gonna be a 2-hour wait. Okay, my husband was like, no, don't think so. So then we got in the car and we drove to Lovell Road, Campbell Station, past Circuit Creek to another chain restaurant, Mellow Mushroom, great pizza by the way. And they were like, it's gonna be an hour wait. He wasn't having that. Then we go to another place, another hour wait. He wasn't having that. And so we ended up coming back downtown. And by the time we got back downtown, we would have been seated at Chewy's. So needless to say, that night he was like, I will never come back here ever again to eat, to do anything. I hate West Knoxville. Now he has been back since. However, I think probably since that time we have eaten dinner in West Knoxville maybe once or twice, period, because he doesn't want to deal with it. Now, if you go on a Friday night, that was a huge mistake. Number one, Friday night, big mistake. Number two, if you go during rush hour, it's going to be crazy. And that just also, so not only was there traffic, there were major crowds at each restaurant that we stopped out. So yes, it has more people in it. That's why it can sustain all those restaurants. So even though it's got all this stuff to do, as a consequence, there are a lot of people there. Another con, or take this how you will, is that West Knoxville is going to be your highest price point in the Knoxville area with a little bit of exception. So obviously if it's a waterfront property not in West Knoxville, it's going to be more expensive. But that being said, or maybe it's a downtown condo that's 3,000 square feet, it's going to be more expensive than a West Knox house. However, for the most part, what you're going to pay for a 3-bed, 2-bath in West Knoxville is going to be significantly more expensive than what you're going to pay in a non-West Knoxville area. So for example, you might find a house built in 2000 that's a 3-bed, 2-bath for $450,000, $460,000 in West Knoxville, but in Halls, North Fountain City area, also built in 2000, you're looking maybe at about $390,000. So that's a pretty big difference. And obviously it's all subject to the properties themselves, but there is a significant difference in pricing from West Knoxville and certain areas. So also the further west you go, the more expensive you're gonna get. So Cedar Bluff, that area, off Meadowbrook Pike, before you hit Hardin Valley, that's going to be typically less expensive. Now, if you're talking about West Hills, if you're like, Haley, what are you talking about? Go see my maps that I've created so you can see the different areas of West Knox. But for the most part, West Knox, you're going to be paying more. And so that is another con. However, people love it and, they can charge those prices because everyone is seeming to want to move there. Another con, which for some of you, this may not be a con, but West Knoxville is the furthest you're probably going to get from the Smoky Mountains. Not probably going to get. It's going to be the furthest you're going to get from the mountains. Now, you will have mountain views, but when it comes to going to places like Cades Cove, going to Gatlinburg, going to Sevierville, it's going to be the furthest you're going to get. And most importantly, it's going to be the furthest you're going to get from Dollywood. And that may be okay for you because you have plenty of stuff to do where you are. And you're probably not going to Dollywood every day anyways. So for some, that could be a con. Did want to point that out. Like, obviously, in the East Tennessee area, we are known for being outdoorsy. And a big part of that is because we are in the mountains. So that's the furthest you're going to be from the Smoky Mountains, West Knoxville. All right, so I'm Haley Jones. I hope you like those pros and cons. Let me know if you agree, disagree, and as always, I will see you on the next video. And of course, if you have questions, call me, text me. I'd love to talk to you.